Morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're about to get practice underway. Final practice for our Porsche competitors. We will begin commentary a little later when we get to the class runs. All I will do during practice is to give you some time, and changes to the program will come a little later as well during a batch return for the Porsche practice. So a little bit of radio silence until we do actually get underway. Car 719 on the line. Car 723 on the line. Car 719, finish time of 68.43. Car 723, 66.4. Car 34, 58.59. Car 728, 63.34.
I was just going to do the same thing, sorry.
on the hill. Car 16 on the hill. Car 15, finish time 73.63. Car 16, finish time of 71.07. Car 18 on the hill, car 20 on the hill. Car 21 on the start. Car 18, 2.93. Car 19 on the start line. Car 21, 64.14. Car 23 on the hill. Car 24 at the start. Car 21, 64.14. Car 19, 66.57. Correction, 66.52 for car 19. Car 24 on the hill. At the start. Car 23, 67.31. Car number 26 on the hill. 27 is on the start. Car 24 finishes at 63.04. Car 25, 62.06. Car 28 on the start line. Car 26, 62.84. Car 29 on the hill. Car 28, 61.7. Car 29, 72.31.
I think they've got one.
No, very, very wet. An interesting.
Car 31 holding on the line.
No.
I assumed we'd have car 30 going round, but sounds like 31's there. 31's on the line. 29's in front.
73.
Jumped the gun a bit on that one, by the way.
Yes, he did, yes. No.
Car 30 non-starter.
Because he's got his license for rallying now, where his chassis just got a hill climb license. Well, hill it might not do this sort of event. You've got that sort of license because you've got Crest, where Chris and Russell got international rally license, which basically trumps everything. Well, not a super correct, but it's a
car 31 on the hill. Car 33 on the line. Car 31, 59.78. Car 32, fail. Now is an appropriate time to talk you through changes to the programme. So again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Loton Park. Meetings here are organised by Hagley Industry Light Car Club. Loton Park used by kind permission Mr Michael Layton. This weekend we have rounds 9 and 10 of the Midland HillClimb Championship. Shortly, towards the end of this batch of practice, the first competition runner of the weekend will take to the hill. We did run a competition for the Porsche Club Speed Championship yesterday, and it's another one during the meeting today. At the end of the first set of class runs this morning, there will be a top 12 runoff for the MTR Top 10 Challenge, and we will repeat that this afternoon. So, some changes to the programme. I hope you do have a programme. They are available from the shop and also available at the entrance where you came in. You would have been offered one. So, before I tell you who I am and talk through the rest of the day, let's just cover some changes to the programme as I know them at this stage. So the first one is to say that amongst the Porsches, number 30, Graham Rose, car broke yesterday and he is a non-starter today. That's on page 8 of your programme. On page 10 of your programme, number 51, Sean Toms is a non-starter. On page 18 of your programme, number 93, Darren Gumbly is a non-starter. On page 20 of your programme, car 101, Sam Lester is a non-starter. Moving to page 24 of your programme, number 129, Sue Young is a non-starter. Then changes of car and place in the programme. Cars 132 and 832, the shared drive of Lindsay and Richard Summers. They changed the car to their DJ Firehawk and they run in Class I. Class I is on page 10. They are originally written in the program on page 24. And finally on page 24, number 133, Graham Wynne is a non-starter. There may be some others which will bring to your attention during the morning. Now, at the moment I'm on my own in commentary, but I'm going to be joined by a friend a little bit later on. Yeah, he's not quite sure who it is yet. He's a mystery guest. So we'll let you know when he arrives at museum eventually. He'll get up there during the day.
Shut up, Chris.
Unfortunately, our regular co-commentator, Steve Wilkinson, taken unwell overnight when he returned home from Midland HillClimb. So unfortunately, unable to travel. He can't go far from the bathroom at the moment. So we just leave it at that for the moment. The current positions in the Midland HillClimb Championship. Quite exciting here. We'll cover
Thanks,
from
Chris.
6th equal place down to place 1. 6th equal at the moment, Andrew Henson in his Gould Delara, tying with Jonathan Varley in the GWR Predator. Andrew had to take the car away yesterday. I don't know if he's back. I didn't see him earlier. He wasn't in the paddock. So he may be a withdrawal rather than a non-starter. And in 5th place is Paul Howells, his Porsche 911 RSR, on 49 points. The tied Andrew Henson and Jonathan Varley are on 46. In 4th place, Maltese driver Zach Zamage is here today, 58 points. 3rd place, Ash Mason here today in his supercharged Westfield, 63 points, 1 point ahead of him. In 2nd place, Tony Adams in his Lotus Elite, 64 points, so just 1 ahead. But leading the way and 11 points clear at the top, number 1, Robert Kenrick in the GWR Raptor, and he did exactly the same as this yesterday and last year. The top 10 challenge, people at the top are not here this weekend. So it's the Wind Developments Limited top 10 challenge I misquoted a few moments ago. The Wind Developments support us with the top 10 challenge in the Midland Championship, although the runoff have 12 cars, so top 12 runoff for the top 10 challenge. And Robert Kenrick, leader of the Midland Championship, is 4th place there with 40 points. And in 3rd place, not here today, Alex Summers, 46 points. 2nd place, Scott Moran in his Gould, 50 points. 1st place, Wallace Mingus, who will be out next weekend, the British Championship in another part of the country. He's on 57. So the top 3 are the ones that compete mainly in the British Championship. And the scores, when there is a British Championship runoff at one of the Midlands hills, scores from their Ryder Cross. So if Robert Kenrick were to finish 4th in a runoff with them, he would score 7 points. Winner scores 10, down to 1 point for 10th, and nothing for 11th and 12th, and nothing if you fail to start or fail to finish either. So the main movers in the Midland HillClimb Championship itself are here. And the way the scores work, your class run in the morning. If you win the class and you have a sufficiently large class, you will score 9 points for the win, 6 points for second, and so on. if you break the class record standing at the beginning of the meeting, so the class record that was in place before we started on the Saturday morning, you gain an extra point. So if you win your class in the morning and the afternoon, and you better the old class record twice, you could score 20 points. So the maximum points on offer is 20. But the points awarded decline based on the number of cars in the class, and if you were just a sole runner in your class, you get 4 points for getting to the top and 4 points again in the afternoon. So that is a form of equalisation. I don't know if our live streaming is going out, but it's intended there would be live streaming. At the moment the meeting is delayed while Justin Mather's car is recovered from somewhere around the first bend. Didn't actually get to loggerhead, which is the bend just out of sight on the video.
If you actually look at those, told you. Good luck to them both. That's on his navigator when he's running. Probably all over Facebook now, Cavil.
Car 33 on the start.
Pardon?
Car 734 on the hill. And the first class runner of the day, car number 744, is now on the start line. That will be David Garner in the Renault Clio Cup. Car 33, 59.61. David Garnett is underway with the first class runner of the day. Comes into sight down the hill towards the slip triangle bend. Car's been tested as he goes along the short. short shoot of the straight and into Keeper's Bend. Disappears from the side of post 4. Car 734, 56.04, and David Garner is about to complete his run. So that's the end of the batch. David Garner being the first double drive runner of the day. Clearly hasn't reached Museum Bend because there's nothing on the trap. Telling me that David Garner got a red flag. Wait and see what happens. David Garner returns to the paddock, having been flagged somewhere above Keepers and before Museum. So car number 744 will get a restart. Flagged in error on the hill. So the good news or the bad news is that we are going out on live stream worldwide, so if I'm boring people in other parts of the globe, never mind, you'll get over it. I know I'm boring at least one person in Scotland anyway. It's what's called instant feedback using the internet. Right, David Garner comes back to the line. Getting full value from his entry fee, isn't he? David's underway. Around Fletcher's, which I'll just call Fletcher's for the duration of the meeting to keep it simple. Around Triangle Bend to Keepers. Keepers exit past post 4, disappears from sight along the hill. I may get some split times that tells me where he is. be joined by somebody else in the top box a little later on today, which will may make the day a tiny bit more interesting for you. 56.5 at Museum. So David approaching the finish, and he posted 65.99, 65.99. So our first qualification run of the day.
The gate.
So as the day progresses, when we return cars to the bottom of the hill in a batch, I will give you the running positions in the classes that have taken their runs so far. We'll do that as we progress during the morning. Sometime before lunch there'll be the first of our top 12 run-offs. I'll give you the makeup of that. I can see it on the screen, and it will be confirmed to me officially by the Midland Championship coordinator, a gentleman called Bill Pardo.
Yes, is Jan here today? Yeah, she's in control. Oh, good to know. She was why I'm here. I was having this weekend off, my house, so she could go. Yeah.
So car on the start line is number 37, and that is a class for registered competitors in the race van conversions Loton Parts Championship, so it's the B licence holders. 5 entrants in there. Don't qualify for the Midland Championship run-off. They're not registered competitors from that point of view. They are members of this club. That was Jim Alcott going past us, driving the Mazda Unos Roadster, the Unos being the Japanese market version of the Mazda MX-5. If it's called a Unos, it normally means that it's been a grey import brought in outside of the dealer and official Mazda network. Michael Paris is on the hill as well, and Michael in his Unos Roadster, so a couple of these in the class. Tyres working hard down here at Triangle. Jim Alcott posts a finish time of 70.73. 70.73. Waiting for the time for Michael Paris. That was Michael Paris. Then Warren Rees, car number 39. Approaching the finish. And he stopped to clock at 70.69. Takes the lead in that 5-car class on scratch. And another registered competitor in the Midland Championship. This is Rob Wilson. Absolutely throws the car into the approach to Keeper's Bend. Finish time for Warren Rees, 66.98. No sign of Rick Leddy or Michael Harriman, although they were here yesterday practicing. So, Dave Warner, former Jaguar Land Rover engineer, these days working for David Brown Automotive at Silverstone, job he recently started. Rob Wilson posts a 63.91. 63.91. And is currently fastest qualifier of just 2. Coming down towards us, Chris Westwood in his Lotus Elise. The runners at the moment are all in Class A1, road-going series production cars up to 2 litres, supported by Mill Garage, Hereford. Dave Warner's time 64.1. 64.1. Fastest qualifier so far.
I think I know what you're going to say. Extend the tyre wall a bit.
Richard on the hill.
Just put a lid round it. Yeah.
44.
I think that would be a good idea.
The car you saw Dave Garner driving just 5 minutes ago. Now here comes Tony Adams.
Well, partly aided by the fact
Never say something to win a class because you don't know what's going to go wrong. That Tony Adams in the car that he acquired over the winter going particularly well. He's also acquired a Radical SR4. We get to see in competition. So Chris Westwood, 66.41.
And Stubbs has selected them already.
He is not registered for Midland. Gordon Hick going past us. Ian Richards posted a 64.52. 64.52. Tony Adams, car number 45. 62.41.
And if they get a call 1 minute before the 12 hours or so, it can be 50. No, it doesn't look.
To refresh your memory, 64.52 for Ian Richards and Dave Warner.
But when he was,
This is 64.1. Chris Westwood, 66.41. And no sign of John Watson. Start leaving the door from the meeting. Now on to Simon Tarling.
I know it's impossible, we forget, because we're
Moving on a class now. Simon Tarling running in Class A2. Of the 3 runners there, sole Midland Championship competitor. Tony Adams started his first start.
Definitely, but I.
Simon Tarling through the finish in a 62.07. There's Chris last order.
How worse our breakdown drivers to take it back was once rock on, rock two. He's chuffed to bits. He said that's fantastic.
Michael Harriman, so that's going back to the Race Fans Conversions Loton Park Championship.
Yeah.
The B licence.
Well, we
Well, he
did.
didn't, but you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
I mean,
And I'm
the nice
thinking
thing
about
was
it.
we asked him. We didn't tell him
59.19
not to
in
put
that
him on. We asked him, and he said the
Just
right
waiting for
one.
Michael
So
Harriman's
Richard
time.
just said to me, he's like,
Andy
got
Russell
two
in the
tails now 'cause he's got a
somewhat venerable Hillman Imp posted
best thing
a
we could ever have.
6.34.
I mean, we've tried to get John
Oh,
to
we
do
wasted-
some
we
training
have wasted
with
our
John,
voices,
with
it's
Richard
impossible.
and everything.
Hillman Martin in fourth. Fiesta.
Come on, mate. I've got that microphone there for picking up the commentary. Don't worry, I'll turn it down.
Michael Harriman, 62.59. And we've got Mark Cunning, car number 59. Not registered for the Midland Championship. Dave Newell, also not registered for the championship, did a 67.05. Local caravan and motorhome repair, maintenance and electrical specialist himself. Mark Linforth, 61.65. He's not registered for the championship. Mark Honey, 65.26. 65.26, not registered for the championship. The next runner is Steve Bailey. Already passed us in, as is Paul Jones, who approaches us at Triangle. Steve Bailey always quick. Choice of cars, he has an Air from Mexico or the Peugeot 205 that you've just seen. Steve Bailey, 60.31. 6031. So far, we await Paul Jones, who has the potential to go quicker, and the ex-William Towett and Richard Marshall Peugeot of Darren Bolster. Very, very quick car, well prepared engine by Links down at Swindon. Andy Fraser now, so we've got the big grumbling Aston Martin Vantage coming our way. He's registered for the Midland. So Paul Jones, 57.9, significantly quicker than anybody else so far. Now see 9 championship registered competitors complete their runs. Darren Bolster is not registered for any championship other than being a Hagley Club member. And away from the start line is Joy Hoyle, sharing the Ash Mason Supercharged Westfield this season. Very experienced lady driver. Graham Manson. We're moving on to another class. We've got dual drivers at the end of a batch. These are cars in class D and B combined. So Andy Fraser posted a 62.33. Puts him up in 5th qualification position. Joy Hoyle has gone past us. Joy is registered for the Midland. And first single season today, this is Clive Austin, car number 791. He's championship registered. Specialist. Joy Hoyle posted a 55.3. Going into the lead. Now 11 competitors have gone faster. 5 Austin will be completing his run shortly. Graham Manson at 61.96. Joy Hoyle 55.3. In 5th position, we've now seen 12 runners, and it's the end of a batch. 5 Austin, 49.75. Puts him quickest, and Lindsay Summers, change of car, change of class. Lindsay posted a 52.06. Class tells us it's a class record, but it isn't. That's because that is a merged class, 100cc class. So that's been thrown up.
Okay. No problem. I will do that. Tell us control when they're back in the paddock and we will get them going again. Absolutely. Nice one. Thank you very much.
Turning to the bottom of the hill. And we'll go and take a look at the class positions so far. So in the race ban conversion Loton Park Championship for B-lesson licence holders. So the current lead is with Rick Leddy on 59.19. Second place Michael Harriman. Just to say no relation to the other Harrimans you see all time. 62.59 for Michael. And Warren Rees third on 66.98. On to class A1. Currently being led by Tony Adams, number 45, with his 62.41, well over a second clear, in fact a second and a half clear of Rob Wilson, number 40, who did a 63.91. Dave Warner in the Renault Clio, 64.1, he's car number 41. On to class A2. Tom's out of it, so just 2 cars in that class. Gordon Hick in the VW Golf all-wheel drive 300 car, 64.09, but Simon Tarling in the big Porsche 62.07. And on to class C1. Modified series production cars up to 1400cc. Darren Bolster on a 57.18 in the lead. Paul Jones second, 57.9. Steve Bailey third on a 60.31. That being a merged class as well. Finally, we've only seen one runner in Class C3, the modified series production cars over 2 litres, so Nothing to say there other than the only time yet posted 62.33 for Andy Fraser.
I thought you'd broken something.
So away from the start line, Gary Morgan, car number 65. Gary is running in Class C3, so he's in the same class as Andy Fraser, who you saw in the Big Vantage. Gary Morgan runs this Vauxhall Chevette. Not many of these cars left. Very, very commonplace in rallying some 30 years ago. The only one, I believe, currently hill climbing, the only one in the Midland. Gary Morgan he posts a fine speed of 83 miles an hour into Fallow Bend. That's the first split speed I've seen there this morning. Has gone through Museum Bend, top of the hill. Posts a 60.82, Gary Morgan, 60.82. Painter went past us. Now here's the exciting CR7 V8 of Nigel Elliott. As wide as the wheel, almost as wide as the wheelbase is long. You can see just how twitchy it is with all that tar, and he appears to be slowing past post 4. Yeah, red flagged that, so he may have stopped out of our sight. So Paul Howells in the Porsche gets himself a red flag and will be returned to the paddock down here. There he is, coming into sight at Fletcher's. Just going to coast carefully back downhill under the guidance of the marshal. They're calling him forward and return to the paddock.
Control from post 5. Go ahead, Fred. Yeah, I've got car 67 with me. He's got problems with his gearbox. Is it okay to turn him and return him?
Puts him currently into 7th qualification position. On the bubble, let's say now, it's Tony Adams with his 62.41.
Yeah, I say as it went up there, I thought gearbox.
Paul Howells back to the paddock, he's in there. He'll be returned to the start line. So car coming to the start, and it's 5 times Midland HillClimb champion, Mike Turpin, car number 69, in his Vauxhall VX220. Away from the start line, very, very quickly indeed. Less than 2 seconds to the 64-foot board. That means he's in excess of 1G of lateral acceleration. And he'll flash into like this. Car started out rally crossing some 16 years or 17 years ago. Very experienced rally cross and HillClimb driver, 5 times champion, as I say. Garage near Hereford, at Allensmore near Hereford. So coming to the start line is Paul Howells. Ryder Elliott Bale. And more red flags. Some Timmy Higgins, taxi proprietor from just up the road in Osborne Street, pulled up halfway down the short straight to Keeper's Bend. Marshall going out to have a word with him, telling him what he needs to do. Having built Mike Turpin up as this quick, all-winning 5 times champion driver, the clock's still counting on him, so I'm sure he's going to come up as a fail. Howells was flagged just after the start, but it's already been brought back.
Sweeping up there.
Mike Turpin's posted a time, but that really doesn't mean anything when it's up in the 82.4 force. That's what he's got. We'll be underway again in a few seconds. Flags having been brought in. And Paul Howells, for the 3rd time of asking, brings the yellow Porsche to the start line. See if he actually gets past triangle this time. 1.96 away from the start. That is quick. almost in single-seater territory. On the start line now is Becky Manson, car number 73. Having posted 1.96 earlier. Full house on past. Becky Manson away from the start line. Substantial margin. Also qualified well. Run off, but I'm sure subsequent runners are going to knock him and many others. Score charts. 5-6 puts him to third place currently. Unlikely to remain there though. Tony Adams now falls off the back of that list. So Becky Manson 64.81. Outside the current 12. Jerry Neary approaching the finish line. Experienced former cosmetic dentist from the East Midlands, Jerry 64.97. For many years he used to follow the British Championship and was registered for the leaders. We don't have a car on the start line, we also have red flags there. So now we do have a car coming to the start, and it's Renault. Oxford professor. Caterham still running a Vauxhall engine, slightly more than 2 litres in capacity. This is a merged class. Ray away from the start line. He'll be with us quite shortly. Ray hugging the curb very, very tightly out of the ledges. Over the rumble strip on the inside of the triangle, and he's into keepers. There's from outside. Pennington next. Tim not registered for the Midland Championship. Goes the Westfield, very quickly away from us here and away from the start line. The Garner. See this championship registered. So Ray Law posted a 57.62, 57.62. What that does is put Ray mid-table qualification game. Behind Joy Hoyle at the head of Paul Jones. zones. Andy Fraser in the Aston Martin Vantage disappearing off the top 12. Simon Jenks now, always a very quick driver. Overboard, overstruck, booster pad, Suzuki booster pad, Caterham. Steve Garner posted a 54.12. Puts him into third place in the qualification. There are still many contenders. Too many for me to count the number just at the moment. Lots of single seaters and very quick sports cars yet to come. Now moving on a class to the silver Ryder Martin Watts. Time of 82, he's in classes F and G, these are the Sports Libra cars. In a few minutes time in the larger capacity Libras. So Ash Mason, 50.88. 50.88. Qualifier. Clear off the top. Clive Austin the fastest. Ash Mason second, Lindsay Summers third. Remains to be seen if Clive Austin can survive the onslaught of the later runners. Now here's a former British HillClimb champion, 1997 champion in fact, Roger Moran, in this recently acquired Darien, the 2.5 litre Honda Civic engine, the engine cover with a French sequential gearbox. It's a rally car. Roger made his debut here in a rally car, so well over 30 years ago now, back in the 1980s. Went on to take that British title in a Pilgrim single-seater. Here's Graham Lokes in the Lola Porsche. Sitting on the line is Gavin McLaren. Single-seater. More of him in a minute. So Martin Watts, a 56.83. In mid-table in qualification. Exactly mid-table. Team painted across the top. Simon Jenks, just to refresh your memory, did a 52.69. 2.69. Estimation of 50.88 to lead that Class D and B merged. Here's Gavin McLaren in the Loton Muffin, small single-seater built by Brian Sanders and Phil Nuttall, returning to the paddock. So something's gone wrong for him. On the start line is number 88, Les Buck in the OMS Hornets, so that's a fail for Gavin McLaren. Graham Lokes posted a 57.06. Up in at 9th position in qualification. Fall off the top. Les quickly passed us in the Yamaha-powered OMS Hornet, the last of the OMS Hornets to be built, out of sequence effectively. Spencer in the homebrewed Renault Kawasaki engine in the back. Renault Formula 3 tub, heavily modified for hill climbing, lightened and narrowed, shortened in wheelbase and narrowed in track. Chris Aspinall now on the hill. Double check if Chris Aspinall is qualifier, and it's a little bit wrong between the two parts of keepers on the Empire race, the original Empire race, the first one to be built. Jim Spencer's time, 49.14, so fast disqualified. Next divide through to the runoff, who knows? Jim Spencer is a 49. I'm sorry, Chris Aspinall 48.42. Let's go back to that. So Jim Spencer is the 49.14. Aspinall. Martin Jones now, followed by Jack Cottrell. Jack Cottrell going past the triangle. On the start line is reigning Midland HillClimb champion Robert Kenrick, sensationally quick GWR Raptor with 1024 cc's of BMW superbike power, and there's a red flag. Posted the time, 50.3, 50.3. Fourth qualification spot. Graham Lopes in the 12th position. Likely to lose that. Martin Jones 50.4, so Graham Lopes has lost it already. Martin Watts, the silver right now in 12th qualification spot. Austin still quickest. So Jack Cottrell has paid the penalty of 2 penalty points. I don't know what that time will reset at. I need a Midland Championship coordinator to help me. If you clip one of these floppy bollards and dislodge it from position, you get 1 penalty. Yes, he's got to drop back to 1 penalty point. We'll see if he's only knocked 1 out. which is a time penalty. Time is corrected to 49.45. So he may qualify on that. Third position currently. Takes those bucks off the top. Now here comes Robert Kenrick, so this is Lincoln, you'll miss it. He holds the class record at 45.16. Track in good enough condition for him to lower that record further. He's very, very quick away from the start with a 1.95. As has been Caroline Ryder with a sensational 1.91. Robert's time is 46.27, quickest so far, but outside of his class record, over a second outside. So the track is suffering from yesterday's rain and the overnight rain. See Tim Higgins take his rerun. Next away from the start line is, well, Caroline Ryder is near the finish. Bill Chaplin. Here's Bill Chaplin. Yes, he is registered for the Midland. The guy who constructs these superb Empire racing cars. So the Empire Wraith and also the Empire Evo 2 are his products. Down in Somerset, down on the levels. Alan Warburton away from the start, massively experienced HillClimb competitor, one of the people who mentored David Grace many years ago. So David, I'm told, was discovered by Jim Robinson, so always tells me. So Bill Chaplin, 49.13. 49.13. Third quickest qualification slot. Caroline Ryder, that is Caroline is registered for the championship. She's in the 1600 class. On the hill, Nicola did, and so we are seeing the Gould Dallara. It didn't complete practice yesterday, but it's been fixed overnight. Nicola now, it's the Gould Dallara. Actually does have a Gould number, it's GR49. Alan Warburton finished with a 48.76, 48.76. Third quickest qualification spot. Knocks out Paul Howes and Steve Garner. Come on, fellas. So Caroline Ryder starts. Bill Morris goes past us, the vastly experienced octogenarian racing driver, retired potato farmer from Dale, down on the tip of South Wales. Away from the start line is number 5, Richard Spedding. So a guest appearance for him, driving Jonathan Varley's GWR Predator with the Cosworth engine in the back. Here he comes now. He's bound to be quick. Whether he's quick enough to do anything about a class winning position in an unfamiliar car remains to be seen. That's some similarities to his own. He's on his way to the top. So now you're going to have to get into the 49 to 50 second mark to get into the top 12. Still may not survive. So to the top goes Richard Spedding in a 49.41. 49.41.
Oh, yeah.
So Richard is not Midland registered. He's British Championship and Leaders registered, but not Midland. So we'll go back and have a look at some of the classes that have run so far. I'll give you some positions there. So with Paul Howes having taken a later run, having been pulled up twice, Paul leads Class C3, car number 68, 54.56 his time, way ahead of Gary Morgan, number 65, who is second on a 60.82. Third place, Tim Painter in the Aston, he's number 66, he did a 61.24. So Paul Howes getting the top points there. Moving on to Class D, the modified specialist production cars, merge class. So it's the rump of the cars. The majority of the cars are Class D spec. So we'll give you the lead there. Ash Mason, 50.88, well in the lead. Nearly 2 seconds quicker than second place. Number 78, Simon Jenks, who did a 52.69. And third place, number 77, Steve Garner, a 54.12. 54.12. Moving on to the up to 2 litre Libra class, merged with HillClimb Super Sports, of which there are none entered in the event. The 1, 2, 3 there is number 82, Martin Watts, in the silver right, leads on a 56.83. Second place, Roger Moran, number 84, in that Darien, 56.91. Third place, Graham Lokes in the Porsche powered Lola, 57.06. 1100 racing cars merged with 600s. Easy peasy this one, isn't it? Robert Kenrick way out in front, 46.27, and the quickest time we've seen so far today. Second place, number 91, Chris Aspinall, 48.42. And in third place, number 90, Jim Spencer, 49.14. When we get to see any Formula Fords, we will do shortly. But it is unlikely, no matter how hard they try, that we will see any of those Formula Fords getting into our Midland runoff. They don't have the aero capacity. They have the fairly standard blueprinted Formula Ford engine and the Formula Ford official threaded tyres. Because one thing you don't get with a Formula Ford is anybody swapping wheels and tyres when it gets wet. They don't get putting wets on, they run a fixed, almost excessive control tyres available from a couple of suppliers. So that was batch 4. Next batch should commence at number 96, which will be Steve Day. When he's finished his class run this afternoon, he has actually volunteered to go and relieve whoever ends up being on the microphone at the top of the hill. Also see Carol Nichols, whose father Roy founded the Nike concern that built their car. Got lots and lots of cars back in the day. We will see Doug Old, the former chairman of the ARC Southwest that runs Gerson Downhill Climb. Charlie Riley, who's likely to be vying for the class leading position with Steve Day. Our local Ludlow based recovery specialist Richard Weaver. And no Samantha Lester, so Sam is not here today. Right, on the start line is number 96, Steve Day. So we're into this Formula Ford class, supported by Cottrell Civil Engineering Contractors. See John Cottrell racing a little bit later on. Class there is held by Andrew Henson, who you'll see in the Gould Dallara quite soon, in the 2 litre category these days. He's the class record holder on a 56.98, which gives Steve Day something to tilt at. That record's actually been in place since September 2017, so a couple of seasons old. By the way, Richard Spedding is 1.89 away from the start line to the 64-foot board in the GWR Predator. That's about as quick a 64 as you can see. People tell you they've seen a 1.7, they haven't. That's the sort of thing that an Atlas V space rocket might do. So Carol Nichols goes faster. A car that was built by her father's firm many years ago. So Steve Day gets to the top in a 59.68. Which doesn't touch it, some 3 seconds away from class record, sadly. It puts Steve into the lead in that class. He's going to qualify and won't bother writing a board out for him. Carol Nichols gets to the top in a 69.67, well away from Steve Day's pace. Steve, let's say, 59.68 to lead the class. Here goes Doug Old, the gentle technical business proprietor, Caution. In other words, he makes false teeth and crowns for a living, that's what his firm does. And no wonder he's got a glossy blue-white smile. He's expected to have one of those. I suspect he keeps them in a glass overnight. So Doug Old, 63.46. 63.46. Second place in class for now. Charlie Riley straight away moves him aside to the 60.7. And Richard Weaver's on the head footing of pass. Next along is Neil Coles, then Steve Morgan. Richard Weaver, 59.83. 59.83. Second place behind Steve Day. So Steve Day, top of the shop at the moment in that Formula Ford car. And all of the competitors in that class having had their first class run. Richard Weaver cleared the top of the hill. Neil Coles does a 50.92. It's enough to put him into a qualification position for now, but it's some way down. It's straight into 12th place, so I don't think he's going to survive very long, is it? Sadly for him. Steve Morgan, a 50.61. What's that do for Steve? That puts him into 10th qualification position. So Neil Coles came in and disappeared straight off the back with the next run on the hill. Sitting on the line is Matt Ryder. Now he's likely to be quick. Have a look for Matt Ryder in here. Here he is now, Matt Ryder. Pretty much a charger. Matt Ryder approaches the top of the hill. His qualification place is 47.48. Matt. Second place. Now that makes the line through to the run-off. Driver's yet to come. Zach Dammit, Maltese driver. Lincoln, you'll miss him. Currently sitting in a very, very high position, second place in the Midland Championship. Dave Warburton. 46.99, Zach Dammit. Qualified fastest at this stage. Rather interested that he might not Robert Kenrick's time, but no, he can't. But he's between Robert Kenrick and Matt Ryder, second place for him. Dave Warburton, he's another one that's, well, he's well capable of finishing top of the stack for now. Can he do it? 46.13, yeah, quickest so far is Dave Warburton. Can't call it young Dave anymore. He's outside the under 25 category now. It'll be downhill, it'll be 30 before you know, and it'll be all downhill for him. And John Cottrell, well, 1.9 away from the start line in the now somewhat elderly filming. Here's John now. George Bleasdale on the start line and away. Dave Warburton definitely quickest. Of course, we do have some dual drivers in the make-up for the top 12 run-off. At the moment, here comes George Bleasdale, another veteran competitor around the Scarborough area. We only see him at Harewood, Loton, Prescott these days. We tend to see him at away from the start. The retired Ford dealer Mike Trigoni from Cornwall. John Cottrell plays today 54.47, not going to qualify. Dave Warburton, Ian Tucker made 55.77. Qualify him for that run-off, so now Martin Jones is 12th fastest on a 50.4. Joshua Moss on the hill. Some of these older cars are very, very quick away from the start line. Lots of mechanical advantage. The third spring on the rear suspension prevents them diving, so the back end doesn't dip on those. Spring load between these two main springs. Joshua Moss on his way up towards the top of the hill. Will Josh fit in the qualification time? Right, Johnny just fits in with a 49. 9.749 and 9.7 Mike Johnny. Him to 11th position for now. And Martin Jones off the top of that. No longer in a qualification position. John Cottrell or George Speedtail. And past us now, that's Andrew Henson, the Formula Ford fastest record holder in this 2-litre Tour de Lara, in which Ben Butterfield won a couple of British Championship rounds up at Doon some years ago. Sadly no longer with us. That car originally built for Leon Bichelia by Gould. That's very heavily modified circuit car. And then heavily reworked by Richard Marshall when he was working at Benetton and later Renault F1. So Tim Elmer at 50.09, good qualification slot for him. Tim Elmer posted a 50.09, 50.09 to fit in. Oh, just in the top 12, just in the 12. Push Richard Summers out. Probably isn't the sort of time that Tim wanted to see. Andrew Henson at 49.55. On the start line is Bernie Cavil, calling for the starter battery to be brought forward. Jonathan Varley has gone past us in the GWR Predator that used to carry the 3-litre Brian Hart V10. These days it's got Jonathan's well rebuilt Cosworth. 47.59 qualifies him for fifth fastest. Jonathan Varley, 47.59.
Right lads, I've got an idea.
Yes, fifth fast. And that's Clive Austin, having been at the top of the chart for some while, disappeared off the back now. So slipped through to 12th place and is gone. So yet Bernie Cavil gets the engine going again. Co-driver Simon Andrews came forward with the starter battery. He's under control of the start line marshals. He's in position. The revs rise and he's away. So Bernie Cavil. Coming our way. Tim Davis, 981. 981. Qualify him. Andrew Henson, the number 12 position just at the moment. And coming our way, Sandra Tomlin, former ladies record holder. Sandra. Bernie Cavil, 48.71. 48.71 for Bernie. Andrew Henson off into oblivion. Sandra Tomlin reaching the top of the hill. And close to 52.4, so isn't going to qualify with that. Sadly for Sandra. And that should be, being a dual drive car, sharing with her son Ollie, that should be the end of batch 5. So by the time we get to the end of batch 6, which will be some more championship practice, Porsche Speed Championship practice, we will have an idea who the top 12 run-off will be made up of. And at the moment, the Fastest qualifier is David Warburton. Second fastest, Robert Kenrick. Third fastest, Zach Zammit. Based on how many more cars we've yet to see, they are going to qualify. So we have some 8 championship registered competitors yet to come. But they're going to have to push really hard to top Dave Warburton or Robert Kenrick or Zach Zammit. Maybe too much of an ask. So, return to the classes and we'll have a look, see who's done what. Thank you, I spoke to you on that subject. So let's refresh our memories on the 1100cc racing cars. I think I gave you this, but we'll go through this again just to be certain. First place, Robert Kenrick, number 8, 46.27. If you've never been to a hill climb before and wonder why the number 8, it means he finished 8th in the British Championship last year. And in second place in that 1100 class, 91, Chris Aspinall, 48.42 in second place. Third place, Jim Spencer, number 90, 49.14. Formula Fords. Well, the absence of Sam Lester, who is a fairly quick driver in her own right. Steve Day takes it. Would have been, I think, Sam vying with Steve Day and Charlie Riley for that position, but Steve Day sitting on top there now. First place, number 96, Steve Day, 59.68. Second place, Richard Weaver. He'll be really happy with that. Number 100, Richard Weaver, 59.83. Really beginning to get the pace together. And number 99, Charlie Riley, who about 12 months ago you would have thought he would be certain to take the class, 60.7 in third place. 1600 racing cars. On top there, well, he's quickest qualifier, so he's also quickest in the 1600 class. Number 109, Dave Warburton, 46.13. Second place, number 108, Zach Zammit from Malta, 46.99. And third place, number 107, Matt Ryder, 47.48. Two-litre racing cars. Well, who'd have thought it? Jonathan Varley, number 121 in the lead on a 47.59. Second place, number 116, Josh Moss, 48.88, but almost on a Sunday after a Sunday morning cruise, number 5, Richard Spedding, 49.41. Believe me, if it was in his own supercharged Raptor, it would have gone a lot quicker than that. But he's having a guest drive just to get his eye and also give Jonathan a bit of advice about car setup, I'm sure. And then 1600cc racing cars with up to 2 litres with forced induction engines. We've yet to see any, but we have some very interesting cars in that class. Pete Tatham with the supercharged OMS 25, Calvin Broad with the supercharged Force TA, John Chalmers in the turbocharged Rolt Formula 3 tub, and Simon Moyes in the Gouljar 59 with supercharger. So we've got the queue means that there's going to be a bit of pushing taking place. Good job some of our marshals keep themselves fit. Taking the lead there, Chris Wolverson. He's an experienced, not just a hill climb marshal, he's also a hill climb rescue crew member, and he's a very experienced circuit marshal. who's marshalled all around the world, and he's spectated all around the world, a full-on motorsport enthusiast who also marshals. So he said, if you want to know what you can achieve in marshalling, he's exactly the sort of bloke you want to talk to when he's got his breath back from pushing Matt Ryder that bit. But speak to any, if you want to get close to the action, you can't get any closer, can you, than pushing a racing car down the track. So have a word with any of the marshals, have a word with our Chief Marshal, Sam Walker, but as I say, Chris Wolverson, I would say, is your choice man to have a chit-chat to, maybe around the lunchtime, because he's been there and done it. If I recall, and I hope I get a thumbs up, I'm sure he's marshalled in Australia on the circuits over there. I've got a funny feeling he's done a Mount Panorama at some time. He's also the king of DIY. In fact, he's been doing it himself for so long. When he started out, it was called Do It Thyself. Don't forget, we've got a range of products on offer here at Loton. Our catering van in the paddock just away to our right. The little Loton Park shop with a range of merchandise and souvenirs. We don't call it regalia around here, we leave that to some other old-fashioned place. And also our bar should be open, well, if not yet, it will be open quite soon. The little wooden hut bar on the level area up behind us. And I didn't see the ice cream van arrive yet, and I can't see through the back of it. We could do with a little porthole in the back of the box. But Kevin was here yesterday and we expect to see him again today.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Where breakfast on?
I was right, Chris did a Bathurst 12 hours. So Mount Panorama is that incredible circuit, about a 2-hour drive inland from Sydney. And we don't normally plug other motor racing venues, but if you ever get the chance, I've been to 2 of the big V8 races there. Chris has done marshalled the 12 hours, and you start low and it just climbs all the way up to the skyline, then down through the Dipper. And I think it's got I think one of the complexes, a circuit in the States, has got the biggest drop of any bend, but Mount Panorama, the overall drop is about 450 feet. And you can't even see the cars when they're at the top of the circuit. It also hosts 2 hill climbs, one of which goes up the Conrod Straight, because it really is one that is bound to blow an engine once in a while, or up the Start Straight. And it's a public road as well. Right, Pete Tatham, number 124, is on the hill, so we are into the 2-litre category of supercharged and turbocharged forced induction cars. The reason they fit in that, they're 1300cc up to about 1.4 litres. There's a 1.4 correction factor to allow for forced induction, which just brings them in at the under 2 litres if they're 1440cc or less. So Pete Tatham's going to be at the top any moment now. He's gone through Museum Trap and he finishes in a 49.77, which is a bit of a disappointment as it will not qualify him for our runoff. So something went wrong for him. It's not what we expect. Pete Tatham has been going really well in that car, which he acquired during last season. It's one that Andy Macbeth used to run down for some years. Well sorted car. Calvin Broad in this Force T8. Just another supercharged car at home in the shed, the Thomas Street Tilby MP101. Now got this car on fire, Force T8. Acquired it last year, did a few events at the end of the season. And he's off to a flyer now, and he reaches Museum A little quicker than Pete says. He's going to be looking to qualify. John Chalmers' turbocharged Rolf burbling away as he goes up around Hall Bend. Kelvin Broad 48.88. Yeah, that joint time with Joshua Moss 48.88. So tied time. Josh is Kelvin. Jeff Costle's not qualifying now. John Chalmers should reach the top. Here's the sharp-sounding Guljar 59, Simon Moyes, the quality manager from the mini plant down at Oxford. So Kelvin Broad, we said at 48.88. Whether that will survive the onslaught of the last 5 cars, I don't know. John Chalmers 48.19. Yes, that qualifies him just not as quick as he would have liked, though, I think. Puts him in 6th place overall. Ahead of Chris Aspinall. No longer in a qualification position. Here's Paul Crute in the only single-seater with a Jaguar V6 that I know of, and that somebody can tell that's any different. Simon Moyes at 47.6 qualified him 6th. 47.6 for Simon. So he's just behind Jonathan Varley. Paul Crute will post the time any moment. Now here's Simon Andrews in the Terry Davis V8 powered car based on a couple of Suzuki Booster at 1400 Suzuki Booster engines. Paul Crute 54.07. Doesn't qualify Paul, sadly. So just Simon Andrews, Mark Coley, who is on the line, and Stuart Ridge to come. I like it when my manual system says exactly the same as what the timekeeping system gives us. David Warburton still posted. Tim, it's career first for him. So Simon Andrews, 48.24. 48.24. Simon. What's that do for him? Puts him 8th place. Between John Chalmers and Chris Aspinall. Kelvin Broad, sadly, stay in the top 12 for very, very long. Mark Coley, 48.66. It just keeps him in there, gives him a position. 48.66 and he will be in Josh Moss out of the top 12 now. Just Stuart Ridge running. Ollie Tomlin, who is has gone past us, is not registered for any championship. He's having an easy. In fact, last weekend he used his grandfather's Chapman Mercury 3, the third of the Phil Chapman built cars. A great big American V8 on carburetors in it. Sensationally hairy old car that all arms and elbows control that, and yes, I never say sawing away at the wheel, but I do when I watch Ollie Tomlin driving that old Chapman. You'd love to see that here sometime. So he did a 47.61, which would have qualified him well, but not a registered competitor. Just Stuart Ridge in this fairly historic Pilbeam, the sort of car that you could have won the British Championship with 35 years ago. Hart, 2.7 Hart engine in the back of a good old Pilbeam monocoque, 50.81. Sadly, not good enough to qualify Stuart for a runoff position. Now we drop back to the Porsches. So this is the last 4 cars, 3 or 4 cars at the end of this batch, are the Porsche Speed Championship second practice. When they come back this afternoon, it will be their timed runs. So that's Ian Crystal heading towards the top of the hill, followed by Chris Wigmore. Going down the hill, this is Chris Wigmore with the daytime running lights on. Told you it's quite a late car, of course, that's the Cayman. Ian Crystal time gets there eventually. 67. Ian Crystal 67.35. Chris Wigmore heading towards the top. This is Nick Wadsworth. And the last to go will be 3-4 David Hilton, because he switched positions before the event proper begins with his co-driving partner. I don't know why they switched running order, but they did. They keep the same numbers. You'll see 734 in the next batch. So Chris Wigmore getting towards the end of his run, 65.18. Stop the clocks with. Nick Wadsworth now 60.49. It's David Hilton to run, batch 8. The remaining Porsche runners being called to the start line by our paddock marshals. Nick Wadsworth 60.49, just David Hilton, who does a 58.35. He'll be happy with that, I'm sure. Right, I can see who's who in the runoff. We've got to sort the running order out because we have some dual drivers. It has come out in the right order just by chance. A mathematical possibility. Let's just go through them before we give you some idea who's going to run. I shouldn't need to speak to the championship coordinator, even though I do have an interpreter handy. He's from Kidderminster, you know. Yeah, we know who's doing what there. So we'll give you those in just a few minutes when we get closer to the run-off itself. But what the timekeeping screen tells me is exactly the same as I've worked out manually. So probably the last capability I've got, that one. Well, this will be the first time I've ever called a run-off completely on my own. You normally have somebody with you, even if it's just a caller to sit next to you, so not quite sure how this one will go. We'll try our best. Even when I was on my own at Doon, I did have Ian Schooler sitting alongside me to do a little bit of calling. Do tell you who's the next car along and so on. Our good friend Steve Wilkinson succumbed to an overnight bout of illness. Wish him well. I'm sure we'll see him again very soon towards the end of the month. And he was commentating at Barber Manor yesterday, which it was their B licence meeting. About 60 entrants, which isn't too bad. But they will be at the end of this month, beginning of July. Of course, they run their one-day British Championship meeting, and on the Sunday, that's on the Saturday, and on the Sunday at Harewood. So 2 one-day meetings in one weekend, with about a 80-mile distance between them. It's quite a fraught weekend, that one. So cars have returned to the paddock. Just looking forward to seeing that batch 8. So you get yourself a couple of buffer classes today, just the one, the Porsche Speed Championship, between the last of your potential championship qualifier, runoff qualifiers, and that runoff gives them a chance to get the cars fettled, if necessary, put a later set of tyres on, make sure the tyre pressures are correct, the wheel nut torques are correct, that the car is adequately fueled. Some of these cars have very, very small fuel tanks. I think Josh Goodyear used to run with about 1.5 litres in his Raptor, just to save weight. So we do have a car on the start line. It is number 15, Barry Powell. Barry Powell bringing that 94S around triangle. Heads up towards the top of the Loton HillClimb. This is a fairly shallow hill. It's not particularly steep in comparison with some. It's second longest in the championship. Quite a bit more space than at certain hill climbs, and certainly very well loved by club competitors. If you come back to one of our 2 one-day meetings at other times of year, you will usually see up to 10 new competitors who've never tried hill climbing before at a weekend, and they get their briefing on the start line before the very first practice on Saturday. We usually see them come back. We run hill climb schools here as well at Loton Park, and you'll find a bit of an advert for that in the programme, but of course they do sell out, so I think the final one of the year is sold out already. There's a bit of an advert for our Loton shop, which is open behind us, manned by volunteers, and you can find little badges and so on if you're talking about pocket money prices, but clothing starts with woolly beanie hats for £8. The reversible waterproof jackets are very nice indeed. You can see Championship coordinator Bill Pardo modelling one of those. And if that doesn't make you rush and want to buy one, I don't know what does. So Barry Powell did a 76.13. Howard Cressy, who followed him, a 69.69. Andrew Soper, 67.63. Now, John Bradburn, who went past us, is the John Bradburn, man who appeared in the British Championship. Well, he appeared in 155 runoffs and got into a podium position on 3 occasions. Sadly, never won a round. Did 8 seasons at the very, very top end. Used to run a Westfield with a V8 in as well, and used to the big power. Nice to see him back. He went circuit racing for a couple of years. Now he's doing this Porsche Circuit Championship and this Porsche HillClimb Challenge as well. But he's got to look after the car, because he tells me he's off to Le Mans to spectate for next weekend. So Andrew Soper, 67.63. John Bradburn, so that John Bradburn, the John Bradburn, 61.15. Simon Crystal, 66.09. Ross McDonald still on the hill. Here's Carl Lupton. Tom Fisher has just left the start line. 3 is on the start, so we're about halfway through. One more car will be halfway through this batch. It'll take us long. We often have, you can't see the timing screen, I can, but I can tell you that there are currently 3 cars on the hill, and with Ross McDonald just finished and car number 24 on the start line, that's effectively 5 cars either at the start or rolling through to the finish paddock. But all of a sudden it changes to 2 because another car's finished, which was Carl Lupton, who did a 60.88. Ross McDonald before him a 64.76. Here's Tom Fisher, has gone past. So this is Catherine Wigmore. Goes past, and on the start line is Stephen Jory. Stephen's away, so yeah, 3 cars on the line. Number 25 coming to the start, and Tom Fisher having rolled through the finish. So Tom Fisher's time, 62.96. Catherine Wigmore will post a time any moment now. Here comes Stephen Jory. This is the heavily modified category with the interior stripped out. Number 26 on the start line. Number 25 Wayne Easton coming our way. We saw Steve Jory. Catherine Wigmore 67.57. Their final practice. They had a full meeting yesterday, 2 practice runs, 2 timed runs, and everybody else had that wanted it took 3 practice runs. So a very full weekend with plenty of goes on the hill. So that's Martin Leach. We saw Wayne Easton. Stephen Jory did a 61.96 on the start line. Is number 27. That's Geraint Evans away. And number 28 comes to the start line. So within 2 or 3 seconds, the next car is there and staged and ready to go. Have to allow a clearance position, which is roughly I have a championship coordinator with me. He's presented me with it, and Bill, could you just confirm it's the same as that and the same as that? I think you'll be able to. So Geraint Evans completing his run. Martin Leach did a 62.83. And here comes Ian Wadsworth. On the start line is number 29. Yeah, we also, 3 of us have coincidental views. Timekeepers think one thing, Bill thinks the same, and I think the same, so everybody's happy. And most importantly, if Rosie Boucher thinks it's correct, it's correct. You don't argue with Rosie. Small of stature, but strong of personality, and a former headmistress, of course. So no argument with her.
Thank you, Edwin.
Okay, so we'll be underway with, at the end of this batch, we'll begin to see the run-off. I'll give you the runners and riders, and I'll give you their qualification times as well, confirmed by our championship coordinator, Bill Pardo, a man of much experience in the rallying game. When he's not at the hill, he always seems to be off on a rally, or swanning about on the continent, going to historic circuit meetings and so on. He certainly knows how to live. A man of his advanced years. So going past is Peter Taylor, number 33, sitting on the start line. So just be Tim Barber should be the last to come to the line, who will be 734. This is the switch of, yes, that's right, 734. Barely read that number. The 7 is on the red car, so it's hard to read. So David Dyson coming down towards us now. Avoid jokes about vacuum cleaners with that name, shall we? So Andy Fagan, right, let's refresh our memory on these Porsches. Andy Fagan did a 59.45. Peter Taylor, a 60.09. David Dyson's about to complete his run. And here comes Tim Barber. Tim is your man who completes the runner, so it will be time to bring the Midland competitors to the line for their win developments, top 10 challenge, top 12 run-off. And let's tell you who and what they did. And this is the order in which they will run. And I will give you the numbers again at the end. So, first to run will be Alan Warburton. Alan did a 48.76. Next to run will be 831 Bernie Cavil. Did a 48.71. They're dual driven cars. They will do their run-off shot and return to the paddock for their change of driver. To be followed by 134 Mark Coley. 48.66 was his qualification time. Then number 91 Chris Aspinall. 48.42. Next up, number 131, Simon Andrews, 48.24, his qualification time. Number 126 will follow him. That's John Chalmers. He did a 48.19 to qualify. Then 127 will take to the hill. That's Simon Moyes in the Gould. 47.6 was his qualification. Then 121 Jonathan Varley in the Predator Cosworth. 47.59 was the time he set. Then Matt Ryder, 107 Matt Ryder, 47.48 was the time he set during his qualification run. Then the top three qualifiers. Number 3, 108 Zach Zammit, 46.99 for the Maltese driver. Then number 8, 3 times Midland champion, Robert Kenrick, 46.27 his time. And the final runner and the fastest qualifier and the best time so far today, number 109 Dave Warburton, 46.13. So you can fill those in on page number. Some of you I know prepare a sheet to fill your own times in, but it is, I haven't even looked at the programme to tell you what page it's on. How remiss of me. It's actually on page 35. There are 2 boxes in which you can enter the qualifiers. So let's give you the numbers of those again, just give you the numbers without the names and the qualification times. So, first to go, 809, 48.76. 831, 48.71. 134, 48.66. Then 91, 48.42. 131 did a 48.24. 126, 48.19. 127, 47.6. 121, 47.59. 107, 47.48. 108, 46.99. Number 8, 46.27. And finally, 109, 46.13. And I'll let you know when the first car comes to the line. And I'm just going to draw breath now. Thank you. Well, I can tell you, amongst the massed throng watching us live around the world on the feed is actually a former Loton Park Chief Marshal Adrian Mudge. Adrian, there's your name check, mate. I hope the check's in the post. He's from Guernsey, by the way, so enough said. Right, 8:09, Alan Warburton is underway. Let's give you some splits as we go. Did a 2.08 away from the start. Does 12.94 to loggerhead, so he's setting the mark as he goes through. 93 miles an hour down here at Triangle. 19.24 his time to the split there. Around keep as he goes. Quickly away. 28 seconds to keepers. So that's what you're going to have to do to win this runoff. It's better at 28 at that point. 98 at the top of Cedar Straight, which isn't straight at all, of course. Into the 42s at Museum, and he finishes on a time of 49.18. Alan Warburton, 49.18. That's your first time in today's runoff. Sets the mark for everybody else. Well, if he maintains that position, which frankly is unlikely, he would score 10 points, but if he gets pushed all the way down to 12th position, he's going to score zilch, nada, nothing. So 10th place scores 1 point, so it's from 10 down to 1, and of course a bonus point if you happen to break the hill record. That ain't going to happen either, is it? Much as we'd love to see it. Away we go with Bernie Cavil, number 831. OMS 28 into the second season with this car. Or third season. You count a few runs out at the end of the previous year. Terry Davis built the engine from two Suzuki booster head and barrel sets. So it's called SV8, Suzuki V8. Only built one. This route used to run in Terry Davis's Renault. That's now got one of his 2-litre Yamaha-based engines in. Bernie gets to the top of the hill, 12.67, 0.3 of a second quicker at loggerheads than Alan Warburton. Not as quick as him in terms of speed. About the same at Triangle. A bit quicker at the top of Cedar. Slower at Museum, and a 49.47 tells the tale. Not quite as quick as Alan Warburton. Second position. Little hiatus while they return to the bottom of the hill. It won't take very long, folks. So don't rush away just yet. And also don't forget, don't rush away when you've seen this runoff, because after lunch we'll be back to do exactly the same thing again this afternoon for more points, more championship points, and another runoff at the end of the afternoon. Once you've completed this runoff, I will also tell you when I know what time we'll be restarting after a lunch break. So the tale of the split says that Bernie Cavil was quicker away to the 64-foot board than Alan Warburton. He did a 199 against a 2.08 for Big Warby. And they were about the same at loggerheads, 0.3 difference there. Bernie was quite a bit slower than Alan at the speed trap, suggesting he's going on the brakes a bit sooner. And when they got up to Museum, Bernie was 0.21 slower than Alan Warburton at that point, and that was reflected in their finish times of 49.18, 49.47. Here they come. If you want to give them a round of applause, you can, of course. The Warburton car was the Works Gould GR59 that went to, in which 2 years ago Sean Gould finished 8th in the British Championship. Didn't defend that, but he's now back with another GR59 with a Judd DB4, 4 as in 4 litres. It's a V8 for 4 litres capacity. Storming power output from that car, well in excess of 600 horsepower. It's also what they call a 30-hour engine, which will survive a full Le Mans qualification, plus a full 24-hour race. So 30 hours, that gives you plenty of time on the hill when you consider that they probably only expend 50 seconds a run, sort of 4 minutes at an event, 45 minutes any particular weekend. And that's the reason why Lindsay and Richard Summers didn't appear in the firestorm. They want to keep the hours down on the clock for the V6 in that car. Now the Mark Coley got away from the start line slower than Alan Warburton with a 2.15. Early Cavil's time is showing in italics, which normally means there's a penalty, but there's no penalty showing. Mark Coley goes past us. That's Yard 55, built back in 2005, and it's powered by a Cosworth KF V6, effectively 3/4 of an IndyCar engine. So Andy, a bit slower than Bernie Cavil, took loggerheads. His time is coming up now. Well, he made it up at the top end. He's got quite a bit of grunt in that V6, not as much as one of the big V8s, but he did a 47.74. So he's quickest so far. So whatever happens, Andy Coley is going to score at least 1 point. Next up should be Chris Aspinall, a man who habitually over the years used to get in run-offs. And the second one of the afternoon, he'd be a did not start, Chris. That was he was known as Mr. DNS around the paddock. Because he can't hear me now, because he's sitting in the car with the engine revving, and he's away. This was the first of the Empire race built, and he and Clive Austin ran this for the first season without the aero under tray, and with a minimal aero package. So that's quite a few years ago now. Back on the gas goes Chris Aspinall, with a 2.07 away from the start line. Not the quickest at all, in fact, third quickest to the 64-foot board. Nice and quick at loggerheads though, so he's making up some time. We've not got a museum time yet. For comparison, he's actually second fastest at that point. Will he be second fastest at the finish? No. Something's gone wrong for him. That's a 51.05. Don't know what happened there. Nobody up there to observe for us, unfortunately. Hopefully we will this afternoon have somebody in the box. But that puts Chris in fourth position. So it's at least 2 points for Mark Coley and 1 point for Alan Warburton. A tiny bit of a disappointment there. I think I've worked out what the I thought I'd worked out what the italics are for on my screen, but no, I can't. Can't see any logic to it at the moment. I'll find out later. Ask the timekeeper, he's bound to know. Next along should be Simon Andrews, qualified on a 48.24. So they're not in qualification order, are they now? Chris Aspinall having... it must have got away from him. He was quite quick into museum. I don't like to speculate, but maybe he missed a gear getting away from museum because he was second fastest of 4 to museum and then 4th fastest at the finish. And it isn't very, if you've been up there you'll know, it isn't very far from museum to the finish. Not quite as short as from the last bend at Wishcombe Park to the finish, which is, you could spit that far, but it's still fairly close. So we're now waiting for Simon Andrews to complete the driver changeover. A bit longer for Dave Warburton, having qualified fastest. They've got the luxury of several more minutes to change over. Right, I can hear an engine running. You can tell from the body language of the marshals that they're expecting Simon Andrews, and duly he arrives at the start line. I'm just going to go for a quick getaway, and he does. 1.92. The car really gripped. It sounded like it bogged down, but it must have just gripped and gone, because he was 1.92 to the 64-foot board, which is the quickest so far. He's 12.34. The loggerheads, which is quickest so far. 86 miles an hour at the speed trap here, and quickest at 18.93 to Triangle, quickest at 5 so far. Not quite as quick at keepers as Chris Aspinall was, a 10th down on him, but he's up again as he gets to the top of Cedar. Speed 114, the quickest so far. Quickest to Museum, and is he quickest to the top? No, 48.06, so something's not quite right as they're leaving Museum. So 48.06 puts Simon into second position. Guarantees him a minimum of 2 points. Mark Colney now guaranteed 3. On the start line, John Chalmers. The last Ralt tub ever built. Forced out of business by a competitor tub manufacturer who gained a foothold and eventually a stranglehold in Formula 3. So 2.01 away from the 64 foot second time there. Loggerhead's 12.5 seconds over there with Chris Aspinall. Nice fast 118 to the top of Cedar. Quickest to Museum. Will he be quickest to the top of the hill? 47.75. No, he's not. He's second place. Interesting that. But people losing a bit of time up towards the finish. Maybe there's a lack of grip there. So 47.75 puts him in second place. On the start line now is Simon Moyes in the GR59 Suzuki with supercharger. And away from the start line, Simon Moyes 1.95, second quickest to the 64-foot board. What's he going to do at Loggerheads? He's split at Loggerheads, he's the fastest we've seen so far, 12.02. 90 miles an hour at the speed trap on the slope in front of us. 18.09 to Triangle, so far. 6.61, quickest so far, first into the 26s. 110 at the end of Cedar. Gets to Museum, quickest so far at 40.06. Can he sustain it? 47.17, yes he can, takes the lead. I remember Simon used to share with his dad Brian some years ago in a very, very quick Mallock in the HillClimb Super Sports class, the otherwise known as Clubman's cars, of course. Next to the start line is going to be Jonathan Varley in the Super Little. It looks so much smaller without the V10. It's much more compact with this 4-cylinder Cosworth engine in the back. The Predator always looked a big car with that long engine, but it actually wasn't. The tub is smaller. It's some 2 inches lower than the later Raptors. The Raptor is a slightly bigger tub, just to allow a bit more space. all of the GWR cars designed by Lotus F1 designer Martin Ogilvy, the man responsible for the, well, at least two types of car that got banned for having been too good for the rules. Famous double-bodied sliding chassis Lotus. Yes, Lotus designer Martin Ogilvy did also design PTD Saxon, designed to take the 1100 miles record of Gerson down. Duly did, and only lost that after 12 years last weekend to go to Robert Kenrick. Jonathan Varley was very quick away from the start, 1.92. His numbers match everybody else's. He's second quickest speed at Cedar, 40.36, a little bit behind Simon Moyes. 47.26 for Jonathan Varley puts him in second place. 47.26 for Jonathan Varley. Next along will be Matt Ryder, a young man from Cirencester, whose maternal grandfather just happens to be Ken Eyre, who won the British Sprint Championship twice, so it runs in the blood, doesn't it? And his auntie is married to Roy Lane's son, Anthony. So part of the hill climbing and sprinting dynasty. He's bound to be good, isn't he? And his father John, of course, used to hill climb a car in the past. Engine revs rise and he's quickly away. 1.88 is by far the quickest to the 64-foot marker. Bodes well. Let's see what he can do at loggerheads. 12.09, not quite the quickest, not quite as quick as Simon Moyes. 0.05 behind, no, 0.7 behind him. Don't have a speed for him at Triangle, but he did an 18.29, his second fastest of those runners so far. 26.79 at Cavil is, yes, that's also second quickest, so going very well for a mere 1600cc 4-cylinder Suzuki powered car. Up against a supercharged Moyes car. 40, very quick at Museum, 40.04, just behind Simon Moyes. And 47.08 his finish time, puts him into the lead. So he's no slouch out of Museum, is he? 47.08. How about that then? Right, just 3 runners yet to come. Zach Samet, the all-action Maltese driver. Motorsport, a big thing on islands, generally around the world. Malta has no circuits, but it has a number of hill climbs on the 2 small islands of Malta and Gozo, and they're only about a hour and a half ferry journey away from Sicily, where there is the Racamolto circuit, where they regularly go off with transporters full of cars on the local ferry over to Sicily, to the north of the island of Malta. And when Zach came over for his first event this year, he brought 8 friends with him from the island, so he had 2 mechanics for every wheel. That's just greedy, isn't it? There's Zach, go really quickly. He was 1.89 away from the start, so only just behind Matt Ryder. 12.17 to loggerhead, quick 2. Did 90 at the speed trap here. 26.7, second quickest to keepers. Got a Museum, oh, he's fastest by far to Museum at 39.96. The only drivers are better, the 42nd mark at this stage. And it's a 46.94, and into the lead goes Zach Samet. For the worst, he's going to finish his 3rd place. Let's see what happens. They'll be piling on the points yet again. Robert Kenrick, the joint garage proprietor from Llangollen, with his father Clive, who also won the Midland Championship a couple of times. So father and son have 5 titles between them. Robert's very, very quickly away from the line, dead on 2 seconds to the 0 to 64. Bear in mind, it's only an 1100cc car. Hardly anything of it, is there? It's got a little dark thing. And 92. 1100cc to the speaker. 11.76. 0.4 of a second quicker than anybody else to log ahead. May lose out on a bit of steam at the top of Cedar Straight, but astonishingly quick. 112 up there with the much bigger cars, bigger capacity cars. And yeah, quickest at Museum. 45.67 straight into the lead. Best time of the day so far. So a bit of work for Dave Warburton to do. The development engineer at Jaguar Land Rover these days. They liked him so much they gave him a job. And those that know, leaning over the barrier by the top of the car park, staring at the timing display. And 2 timing displays, is it, Bill? Thank you. Yeah. Always good to see Bill Chaplin, the other side of a fence. Right, just the one to go. Dave Warburton on the start line and away. 1.99 up there with the rest of them. Better than 2 seconds to the 64-footer. What's he going to do at loggerheads? Come on, 12.14. Oh, slower than Zach Zammit and Robert Kenrick. The 92 here. Loads of traction from the advanced aero on this Gould. Slower than Kenrick to the triangle. And again at keepers, so a little bit behind Robert, so quite a little bit of work to do over these last few seconds of his run-off shot. 39 seconds at Museum. 45.72, second place for Warby. 45.72. So your finish positions are in 12th place, Chris Aspinall, 51.05. 11th place, Bernie Cavil, 49.47. Those 2 chaps unfortunately out of the points. And then keeping it in the family, number 10, 10th place, Alan Warburton, 49.18. Simon Andrews, 48.06 in 9th place. 8, John Chalmers, 47.75. 7th, Mark Coley, 47.44. 6th, John Varley, 47.26. Then 5th place, Simon Moyes, 47.17. 4th place, Matt Ryder, 47.08. And the 3-2-1 is in 3rd place, Zach Zammit, 46.94. 2nd, Dave Warburton, 45.72. So winning it, Robert Kenrick. Yet more points from the little guy from Wales, 45.67. Now we're about to break for lunch, and I'll tell you when we're going to restart as soon as I know. Right, so did I hear a 1 o'clock restart time? Yep, so Clerk of the Course commits to that one. There you go. So not taking too long a lunch, man after my own heart. So 1 o'clock we'll be back underway. Time for a break, trying to go and have your picnic lunch or buy something from the food bar. Go and have a look at the shop. The bar will be open by now. Go and get yourself an ice cream, enjoy yourself, and go and wander around the paddock. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.